Hey everybody. So it's Crypto Chris here, and I'm working on setting up the live for today. And we've invited Joe, so he should be here momentarily. Looks like we're going to have a hot day here in Coastal Carolina. Thank you guys for joining. Today we're going to be talking about the life that we have today versus the life we'll have down the road. So a lot to talk about. And Joe has been watching and doing some research, and so we're going to be talking about a few different things today. All of it kind of goes into, hey Joe, goes into actual marketing, actual business, actual life, and social media in a lot of ways. Okay, so just so you guys know what's going on, I didn't want you guys to be taken off guard. And I see Joe's doing the same thing I am, trying to set his phone up so we could see each other. So, how you doing today, Joe?
I'm good. Um, sorry. I was on Facebook reading something else. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Look at the clock. Does anybody know if they make external cameras for phones? Like that you can plug into the phone and set?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I would think they would.
I know they make a lens that you can clip over, and it kind of shoots in or widens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure about the plug-in.
Okay, I just wondered.
They do make those, however, external cameras. They make those for computers. I used to have one. It was on a tripod. It was really, really nice back in the day when I was big into network marketing.
I got two of them. And then I got a tripod. I just need like the special adapter. It's a little bitty like HDMI adapter, like teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny. That goes into the camera and then goes into the
Teeny tiny.
Yeah. It's on a tripod and all that stuff. I just don't use it. It's Nixon's actually.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So as you were coming on, Joe, I was telling everybody that we were going to talk today about the life that we have and the changes that have happened, over the years, not just in our lifetime, but, in our grandparents' lifetime, our parents' lifetime, and what our kids' life is going to kind of look like, down the road. And so, Joe and I were talking, we were having a really good dadpreneur conversation just before we came on, because we were talking about how our kids, they're great and they do really well for a while, and especially with manual labor, getting hot, being outside, doing those types of things.
Work.
And yeah, exactly. And then, for instance, my son, we'll use my son for a guinea pig. He's been outside helping his dad for 2 days. He's done a fantastic job. I was super proud of him. I mean, just on it. Everything you told him to do, he was right on task, And with a little instruction, he was doing a really phenomenal job. Today, he got up and he just decided he did not want to be outside. He did not want to sweat. He did not want to work today. He was tired of working. The project should be done already. And, and it's like, really? When did you get to tell me, right? Like, when did you get to tell me what you're going to do? I don't think so. Get your butt outside.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what we're doing. I said this earlier. We have too much air conditioning.
uh-huh.
But it's not just that. There's so much to be involved. There's so many things to involve kids.
Yes.
All of this stuff that we've gone over and learned. We went a month over. We spent a whole month of June going over social media.
Yep.
It was like how to use it, and it wasn't anything really technical.
Right.
I mean? But kids just know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how. Beats me. Maybe
intuitively they know.
But they just know it. There's like, do, okay. But they're just, we're going, huh? What? Okay. That, huh? What? Okay.
Dude, I have an iPhone X, and my son has never used a phone in his life. But I can hand him my phone and say, I can't get to so-and-so as such and such. and unlock my phone and give it to him, and he's there. And I'm like, how did you do that? I just did it. Show me how you did it.
But we do too. We're afraid of breaking stuff. They're not. You know what was it? Dixon was doing something. She's got, man, it's when we first started this show out and I was using her laptop before another new computer setup. And I was like, man, I don't know. I got myself lost there. I was looking for something one day. She's like, oh, I can find it. But she was just hitting buttons. And I was like, what are you doing? And like, she got to something, but then she erased stuff. I was like, honey, if you didn't know what you're doing, you don't have to say you did. I mean, yeah.
So,
but I don't know.
We are. I just want to let everybody know real quick, Joe, that we're not going to be our normal time today. We are unexpectedly going to be doing a presentation for the company at 3:00. So we kind of have to prepare for that. I have nothing prepared. So we will probably cut this off at about the 30-minute, 35, 40-minute time frame. But before we do that, I mean, because sincerely, when I wrote out the actual description about what we were going to talk about today, I realized that, you know, this is something that we know, right? I'm trying to find the words, Joe. It's something that we know has happened. It's something that we are aware of. That's a good word. We're aware, but we're not really paying enough attention to actually see what's happened and where we're going.
Yeah,
and so
and it, you know, that encompasses a whole lot of things. And where from is I posted something on my Facebook page, and it's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And it's the third industrial revolution. It's about an hour and 45 minutes long. And I woke up like 4 this morning. I was kind of flipping through. I'll put YouTube on just because it's something, and usually I'm like, I'll go right back to sleep. Well, this guy comes on and starts talking, and I'm like, he's like an economic advisor to what's her name? I forgot her name now. Germany's chancellor, Merkel, Angela Merkel.
Yes.
And he's been there about 10 years, and he's an economics professor here. But he was advising him. He wrote like all these books. And so he writes this book, and then I don't know. I guess you heard of one of his seminars. Like, hey, I want to talk to you about it because we were the third industrial revolution. Well, Britain led the first. You know, they did. You know, they invented the steam engine. Armor in Germany and car. You know, everybody thinks Ford did. He didn't. You know, what I mean, he just invented the assembly line. So they got trains from the steam engine. That was the first industrial revolution. The second industrial revolution came with us. We were the second industrial revolution. That came through with steel, Andrew Carnegie, and that whole thing. All those people, you know. But it was all else, and that blew up. You know, World War II and kicked everything into high gear. You know what I mean? And that was part of the reason that we were not allowed, but part of the reason we were victorious is because our huge capability to produce.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everybody went to work. You got Rosie the Riveter. You know what I mean? Everybody was off. Women built airplanes and everything else. You know, and it was, you know, everybody chipped in. Well, that's come down, and it's on an 80-20 platform too. That's the interesting thing where it kind of goes in with the training stuff. And what was, you know, even the most efficient you're ever going to be as a population in an industrial society is 20%. And once you hit that 20%, you topped out.
You're topped out.
You're done. You know, I mean, there's nowhere to really go. Well, we did that a long time ago.
Yes, we did.
You get into the electrical grid and all this stuff, and all this was part of all of this. You know, the highway systems. You know, this is all pre and post World War II. You know what I mean? And I mean, you had your depression in the 30s, or, you know, 29, 30, you know, through then, but it didn't destroy everything. It wasn't a complete collapse. It was horrible. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a complete collapse. So he goes into all this stuff, and he's like, there's time for it's time for the third one because we're looking at it's a global crisis of economy. He's like, it's not going to happen tomorrow. That's not what he said.
Right.
But we have with the global warming issue, whether you believe in global, we need to stop having such a big carbon footprint. You know, ice caps are melting, guys. I mean, that's just simple. The ocean rises. You know, it's changing currents because it makes things too cold. You know, the El Nino, La Nina, you know, all that kind of stuff. And that's not, I'm not being political or hooky about that. That's just
right. No, it's just fact. Did you tell him who was in did you tell him the man's name that actually did? I looked it up for you. It's,
Did you look
yeah, I got some information here. He actually did this, and it was actually published February 13th, 2018. And the gentleman who is leading the actual lecture, if you will, is Jeremy Rifkin. And I've watched some of Jeremy Rifkin's stuff before. He's a very profound gentleman. But when he talks, he has a way of talking to people, just in case you guys want to go catch it. He has a way of talking to people that what he says just makes sense. It's like it doesn't go over your head in a manner of, because when you're talking about something like this, both past, present, and future, you could really leave a room full of people confused. And what I did like about, I will be completely transparent with everybody. I have not had an opportunity to watch the entire segment yet. It's an hour and 45 minutes long. I actually thought it was a joke that Joe had sent me. And so I didn't take it seriously at first. I apologize. But, you know, what I did catch at the beginning, which was like the first 20 or so minutes, what I did catch was actually profound in the fact that he had several different age groups of people in his lecture. And so he was able to bridge the gap between those generations and between those different age groups and paint a picture. Just in the first 20 minutes, he painted a picture that made me cock my head sideways. So I knew that I would come back and finish it. It's just a matter of time. But, you know, the biggest thing that I think that most people haven't realized yet, Joe, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you because this is about as far as I can go with this, is that we're right at the precipice of the 5G communication, you know, renewable energy and internet, you know, driverless mobility. That's right. I mean, it's there. It's just not finished, right? Everything connected to the internet. And we've jokingly, I mean, you know, you and I jokingly have had a couple of conversations and said, you know, for instance, like the new computer you bought, you know, we've got these assistants. I think you've got Cortana on that new computer. And we were like, why can't we just say, Cortana, do such and such? And she just do it, you know? And so those types of things are really coming. And we jokingly say stuff, you know, but at the end of the day, it's really there, guys. It's and girls too. It's really there. And, you know, the most profound thing that Joe said to me about the video that, again, I have not finished watching, was that, you know, our entire world changed when houses got electricity. And he was right. I mean, like, that thought is in my head still to this moment, because it's like that changed the entire face of how things needed to be done from that step forward.
Yeah, what it is, and what it had to do with what he said. I'll just say it. Anyway. But he's like, it freed the woman from the house.
Yes.
You know, freed the woman from like damn near slavery, because you know she didn't have to be cooking all day. You know, I mean, you didn't have kids to get things done. You know what I mean? There was, you know, mechanization and all this, and you know, it goes into overpopulation and things like this. 50% of the planet right now doesn't have electricity.
Right.
The biggest thing that ever happened. All of a sudden, you know, you don't have a wood stove. You know what I mean? You can cook. You know what I mean? You could have had, you know, well, no, I don't know. You wouldn't have used an oil stove to cook with. And they wouldn't have processed propane yet. So, no. And so it was freedom. People to
Correct.
get out of the house. The reason we have population problems, because people don't know what to do. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but they're plowing rice fields by hand and planting by hand. We don't do that here. You know what I mean? We got machines to do it. So you need to have a bunch of kids to do it. It's just the way things happen,
Word.
And I'm sorry, I got nothing else to do. What are you going to do? And I know that sounds terrible in a way, but it's not. It's true.
No, it's a fact.
And what he was saying was by bringing something as simple as electricity to us, the thing we hit the switch and take advantage, you know what I mean? Jeez, you know what I mean? By doing that, it cuts down on our population.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts down on the spread of disease.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of diseases, sexually transmitted, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? There's AIDS crisis. Still, like, I know here we forgot about it. You know what I mean? Because you take some pills and it's over with. Pretty, you know what I mean? And I'm not making light of anything, but it's just the way it's
right. The U.S. primarily. We'll just talk about the U.S. because it's where we live. The U.S. primarily has gotten. They've gotten almost callous, if you will, to how others live and how they survive, even how they, let's tie this into social media real quick. Okay. So for a second, if you want to have a home-based business in the United States, it's as simple as making sure that you have a really good internet connection. You don't even really, right? Like wireless is more important than the internet connection. So you want a good wireless connection because our phones now are capable of doing so much just from the wireless that it's crazy. Okay. Yeah. So you gotta have wireless, right? You gotta have your phone. You've got to have, for me, I'm older. I'm 49 years old. My eyes are tired. Okay, guys. So for me, I need something with a bigger screen than a phone for prolonged reading and research and things of that nature. But what I'm trying to say is, with a very minimal investment, probably things you have laying around the house, you can actually go into a business in the United States overnight, especially if it's a home-based business. Now, there are countries, and I'm an international team. And, there are countries where the only option they have to be in the same business that I'm in now, okay, and I want to complain about how much screen time I've got. And these people are only using their phones. They're doing everything from the phone. They're going to public places to get the Wi-Fi, because their phones aren't capable. No, their phones aren't capable like ours are here. Our phones reach out and grab it. Their phones don't, guys. Okay. Like it's crazy. So I just want everybody to kind of think about, it's summertime. It's really easy to get disgruntled. It's really easy to get thrown off track. It's really easy to, woe is me. Woe is me. Oh, dear Jesus Christ. Woe is me. Okay. Get out of that woe is me, because here's the thing. The United States has it too easy. Just about all of us have it too easy. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people out there that are in a bad way. I absolutely believe that. I'm one of those people that doesn't believe that the United States should have any homeless. They should have any people hungry, and they should have any people that need any type of medical. There should never be a need for that in the United States. Never. Now, some people might say, well, that kind of sounds like socialism or communism. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if we are the greatest country in the world and you want to tout that, and in reality, I know that because we live here, we look at the politics and we look at all the things that are going on, and we see ourselves digressing. We see ourselves removing ourselves from being the greatest country in the world. But at the end of the day, our resources are still far greater than everyone else's. Our chutzpah, if you will, if you don't know what chutzpah is, look it up. Our chutzpah is greater than anyone else's in the world. when something bad happens or we need to pull together, our ability to do that is greater than anyone else's in the world. So when
Right.
I say that we have it too easy, I simply mean that we have it too easy in the fact that we're spoiled, very spoiled.
Yeah, we're just cavalier about things,
Mm-hmm.
and so used to it. And a lot of that, it just goes with the way everything happened with technology.
Mm-hmm.
Our life, so many things have changed. I'll be 40 this month, but so much stuff's changed in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I remember when microwaves were these big giant, you know what I mean? Now my microwave will do everything done in my house except for a deep. You know what I mean? That's about all. I've got more equipment than any one person needs because Gloria loves this stuff. I'm like, boom, I got oven, all kinds of weird shit, rotisserie things,
Hey, did you ever get the air fryer oven? I know, squirrel.
fire, like grease.
Love that thing, man. Oh, I love that thing. It
Crisco.
just takes up a lot of room on my countertop, though. I'm trying to find a place in the cabinet I can put it in the cabinet.
We got one of those big, those big fancy pressure cookers that you like set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah, it's somewhere stored by art mixer. It's been used once, I think.
Well,
Yeah. Oh,
Joe.
so off topic, but kind of what we're talking about was they get into all the Green X stuff, guys, with all the Green X mining in this. He explains what's actually happening,
Mm-hmm.
which utilization of the energy. And now, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna sit here and give away all their trade secrets here, what they're talking about doing, but this has to be what they're doing. So if you don't want to know what these later phases are going to be, don't watch it. But hey, man, that's public information. It's been out there since the thing. So I can't see why it's not a secret. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he talks about the digitalization of electricity, and shows a little thing, do, and you go, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, it's the best thing I've seen yet on it. You know what I mean? And I kind of pretty much thought I had it really pretty well figured out myself already. You know what I mean? And then I went, oh, okay. But the reason for it is every house becomes a node. You don't need a whole giant thing of solar panels.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just put little panels all over the place.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to have your own solar farm or fill your backyard up with it. You don't even have to fill your whole roof because you can move it around. Once you link everything, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I want to say they're 33, I think 33 or 34% solar and wind energy right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready. Denmark's already doing it. Now you're going, well, Denmark's a little bitty. Denmark is small. Germany is actually pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
But now the biggest power in Europe.
Right.
I mean, far as trade and everything, it's the biggest. There's
right.
Period. This stuff's already in action. We need to start using it. Now we are, and Green X is doing it. You know what I mean? And I know they don't want to let their cats out of the bag, but if not, maybe they need to look at this guy's plan. You know what I mean? They're doing, because if you look at the little pieces, puzzles only go together certain ways, guys.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But I'm in a real weird situation here right now because I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I want everybody to have this information for themselves about all this other stuff. Skip over that part if you don't want to know what's coming. Or, you know what I mean? I don't know how,
Well, here, it's simple. It's really simple. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, 2,435,472 people have watched this video since February. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. This gentleman has a quote, and I'm going to read this quote to you guys because it's profound. I mean, it is profound. And I want you guys to really hear it because Joe and I say this in a different way, not these exact words and not in this context, but the meaning is the same about something that we say all the time. The value of information does not survive the moment in which it was new. It lives only at that moment. It has to surrender to it completely and explain itself to it without losing any time.
Right.
What is he saying there? He's saying that, he's literally telling us, we're coming up with our own answers. We're coming up with our own answers, but we're not listening to our own selves, because as soon as we create the answer, we move on, and we left the answer back there, and now it's history. And so, it's profound that we are, and everything happens for a reason. The universe makes no mistakes. I say that all the time. I'm sincere about that. It is no mistake that we are all on a journey at Kryptogenics to make the world a better place, and to make others better as well. That's no secret there. At the end of the day, what is mind-blowing to me, right, is that Joe comes across this piece at 4:30 in the morning when he would ordinarily be asleep. He was unable to sleep. He got the information, and it all tied everything that we're doing together. Now, if you don't find that, the universe working, then, maybe we need to have a conversation one-on-one. But, it's amazing to me. It is amazing to me that we are currently where we're at with Green X, with green mining, with Kryptogenics, with the 5G, with the automobiles, all of this stuff, right? It's all linked together, and our lives are going to change. Now, for a lot of us, let's face it, I'm 49, okay? At 49 years old, am I going to see all of these things he's talking about come to fruition and be completely in use without any problems? I don't know. I don't know how close all the stuff is to being finished, to being perfect. Who does? Okay. Will our kids see it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Kids,
without a doubt.
Live in it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They're going to be able to walk into a room and tell the entire house what to do. And by the way, you can actually do that already.
You can.
Not very many people know that. The extremely wealthy people, and the only reason I know this is because, not because I'm extremely wealthy, but because I used to own an electrical company, and we would put in the infrastructure for all this stuff. And you could literally walk in the door, and you could tell your entire house everything you wanted it to do, and everything would just happen, period.
Right.
And it was voice activated. So, what Joe brought to the table is huge. I applaud him for that. It takes courage to go against the grain. This definitely goes against a lot of people's grain. Not that he created it. Not that he created it, but he acknowledged it. And here's where I'm going to tie up my words for today on this is, we want change, we desire change, we need change, yet no one wants to stand up and say, hey, this is what we need to do, or this is how we need to do it. And when they do stand up and do it, then they're ostracized, or they're talked about, or there's a bunch of things, he's lost his mind, he's bumped his head, I think he might be going to the crazy house, all this kind of stuff, right? When in reality, our grandparents were talking about the stuff that we're living today.
Right. Exactly. I don't really see it going against the grain. I don't, because it's the only thing the basis to all of it is that the centralized system has failed.
But that's going against the grain, Joe.
Thing it was allowed to fail. We have a 60-year-old, electrical system that never got upgraded.
But Joe, that is going against the grain, because people don't like change, and anything that involves major change is going against the grain.
Well, it's just all he talks about. I mean, really, it's just decentralizing everything. It's power in the hands of many.
Yes.
We're going to have a sharing economy, and it's not like socialism or anything like that.
Right.
But it's like, I use this much electricity that I produced on my house. It's hooked up to your house. I need some more. I'm going to get some off you. You're going to get some off me. We got nodes everywhere. Everything's moving around. You know, now you go, oh, so all the power companies going out of business? No, they're not. And that's what big business doesn't go out because you got to move this stuff somehow.
Right.
You know who knows stuff? The big power companies.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's going to be some things that fall. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have people that are experts in this field, these fields. You know, we can't just go start putting up power lines, connecting everybody's house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, excellent. But there's room for everyone. Germany's got 4 power companies right now.
Mm-hmm.
2 are already on board and said, hey, we're going to do this. Daimler, okay, builds semi truck. They're like, okay, look, we're all for this. Now we're getting into logistics. We've been into logistics for 3 years. Nobody knew this. We had sensors and all these semis running around all around Europe, okay? And so we know all these points and plots. We know everything's communicating. And the communication's key, period. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. This stuff is already happening. This is like saying, hey, guys, I just heard about this brand new thing called Bitcoin. So this makes sense. Okay? No, that's not it. It's not. It's happening. It's been happening. All this is happening.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It may not be here, you know, and everybody has that thing, well, you can do this in a small country, you can't do it in a big country. That's bullshit. Sorry, but that's not true. We spend more money on nothing than most countries' whole GDP. You know what I mean? Most countries even have.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Can we fix the grid? Yeah, we can. Are we going to have to keep fixing roads? Yes, we are.
Yes.
That was heels in the room. Work? Huh? Like, oh yeah, there's generations of work to be done, like hard physical labor. You know, and like the older people in the room, they kind of pan to them. You don't see them chuckle like, you know, is your job going to be easier? Probably. Yeah. Still a lot of hard work. You still got to lay a road.
Absolutely.
Everything going, but you guys really should watch it. It gets into a lot of stuff. There's about 5 parts to it, and it's like about an hour, minutes, I think. You know, but it's real interesting. It's
be prepared. I would, if you have the ability, I would switch it over to your big screen off your computer, because it really is more like a movie documentary type thing. Hour and 45 minutes, you're going to get tired of watching it on the computer. I'm telling you.
You do that for sure. I mean, that's what TV. It's the Vice channel did it. You know, I'm shocked I'd never seen it before. You know, yeah. What's that? Oh,
so we have a few things. You know, Cryptogenics is got a lot of stuff coming. I have been in communication with several of the core 5, and although I'm unable to give you guys anything meaty, I can tell you that there's a bunch of stuff coming. And you know, I was actually dead on. Like, I took the hammer and hit the nail dead in center when I said, when they're quiet, you guys better watch out, because they got some stuff coming.
Yeah, guys. I could only get what I could get out of Chris, which wasn't a whole lot, but it was a lot.
The problem that you're going to find is that when it all comes, you're gonna sit back in your chair and go, wow, you know, that's gonna be kind of the way it is. And so I know that Steve put up a thing on the blog today to remind everybody about the actual tools that we've already shared with you guys. You know, the cards, the presentations, the business cards, all of that stuff he was talking about. And so that's up there. I would say that what you're going to want to do is just stand with bated breath and be ready, because the stuff is coming. You know, Kathy's working on her stuff, Mike's working on his stuff, Steven's working on his stuff, Will's working on his stuff, and Jeremy too. So at the end of the day, you know, we're going to have some stuff coming, and you guys are going to go, wow, Chris was right? So we actually have to do the presentation today at kgxglobal.info. If you guys would like to jump over there, we'd love to have each and every one of you over there. If you've got someone that needs the information, please send them there. we're going to get over there and do that.
Mhm.
And then things are a little bit crazy. So adjusting, oh, cool. Adjusting schedules and stuff. Dane, if you are still with us, may need to reschedule. I need to look at my schedule. I may need to reschedule your and I's appointment.
I agreed to that, guys. For us, kind of. I'm sorry. I completely forgot, Dane.
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry. Oh, man.
So, we've got some things going on. We're doing a little bit of shuffling. Summertime is the time for shuffling. Don't worry about it. Everybody take a deep breath. We're all going to get to the finish line together. And we love each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Hey, Joe, close us out, buddy.
Hey, guys. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Check us out on the thing next. And, guys, you ought to stop by our presentations, because when there's nobody new there, we just go into all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Another hour of us, blah, blah, blah. We're just a little bit more professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if you need the presentation, we'll definitely do it for you. We love that. But,
Yep, absolutely. So looks
here,
like Dawn says that Portuguese, Sweden, and Russian will be up in 48 hours on the education.
Portuguese, Swedish, and Russian. Yeah.
That's awesome. We love you guys. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe, I'll meet you over there.
All right, man.